Welcome to the Buylist. This is episode 68.
This is not financial advice. This is cardboard.
Close.
Not even at the camera today, Ted. I'm over it.
Oh man. Yeah, we're not there's no messing around on this episode, Nate, because we have 45 Majestics to go through. We're bringing it back. It's your favorite. It is the Majestic market value tier list.
Yes.
That's a name.
It's
Yeah,
a name.
we'll go with that.
Yeah. So for anyone who hasn't come before, basically we're going to run through all of the Majestics in the set, kind of give them, put them on a tier list, not going to give them like a market value, but when we're looking at like our banger tier, we're looking at cards like from previous sets, thinking of like Levels of Enlightenment, Blade Flurry, Twin Drive, kind of that marquee Majestic of the set, of those like the cards that will hold and retain value and be pretty valuable. The slaps tier is kind of like that one step below it, like cards very good, catches a lot of eyes and attention, but it's not that like upper echelon, the marquee. So like thinking back to the cards like Heists. Man, I am completely blanking right now. What's a good one from MST? There's like only like Weakest Link and Levels.
Yeah, and everything else. Yeah.
Like the assassin cards, like Bonds of Agony, Prognosis. Though Prognosis has spiked recently. Those cards kind of like sat in that like $5 to $10 range, and we're just kind of like really nice, like nice Majestics open. And then the Okay I See You is going to be kind of that card where, you know what, you're pretty happy to open it, but you know this is not like going to be like big trade fodder in your binder. It might be $2, $3, $4, $5 maybe. The You Adorable tier is kind of like, this card has some cool text on it. People are going to think it's good. So yeet your copies really quick, because this card is probably going to fall down to that buck range, and you're going to be able to pick those up later on for pretty cheap probably.
Yeah.
And then there's Dust tier. When you open this, you cry inside.
Yeah.
And you wonder how you're going to get rid of this card if it's an extra copy.
Yeah.
Because no one wants them.
But Nate, Dust will return. A Draconic Illusionist will return. So maybe someday that low tier Dust tier card will see a glorious return. So
when Draconic Illusionist comes back into the meta, we will rename the tier Morlock Hill tier.
Yes.
But until that time, I will continue the meme on all of the fans of Dromai and call it Dust tier.
Yep. All right, let's get started, because the last time we did this, it was a beefy episode.
Thick boy.
Yeah. Buckle up, folks. We're in it for a long haul here. All right, Nate, let's start with the expansion slot cards. First four up are the Assassin Armor. First one here, Widowveil Respirator. Yes, this guy right here. We'll drop it here, and okay, I see you while we discuss it. Yeah. Honestly, I think these are going to be pretty quick. My first point on this is that a playset is one, and these will be pulled quite plentifully. This card is not a card that is bad per se. I think some of these cards will see play, especially Arcane Barrier 1, Spell Void 1 is very handy.
Yeah.
But if we're like looking at this through a market lens and like how to buy and sell this set as people start opening it and as you're trading, these are, not quite Dust tier, but they're going to be in the You Adorable tier for me.
100%. The cards are very good.
Yeah.
And like this suite of equipment, and you can put them all in the same tier because they're all the same. This tier of equipment is just quality of life for the assassins. It makes playing in the Wizards like way more playable. Card's just good. This card could easily move in the Dust tier. We have very limited data on the expansion slot, and the pull rates of the expansion slot are heavily going to dictate where a lot of these cards fall. So like this is going to be, as we're doing the expansion slot first. So like I will lay the framework of like how we're going to talk about the expansion slot too, because there's a couple different things that really matter about the expansion slot. LSS has continued to tweak the pull rates of the expansion slot on the back end
Mm-hmm.
while having like the X amount of majestics per box. So we've seen it go from like the hardest set to pull expansion slot majestic was bright lights. And then
Yeah.
it got a little bit easier in heavy. It got even easier in Mistveil. And that's why
Mm-hmm.
we've seen expansion slot and Mistveil, even though very strong, those cards are not holding value because they are much more plentiful. The supply is
Yeah.
much higher. So if we see even yet a further increase in the supply on the expansion slot, it doesn't matter how good the card is, it will not hold value.
Yeah.
So that is part of kind of like it's going to be a very feel based. So looking for that data in the first couple days as we start to collect it is going to be very important on how to assess these. So that being said, if we say heavy-ish to like if we see heavy-ish pull rates, I think that's
Yeah.
where we could see like healthy market values for these cards. So it's going to be the same thing for the other issue with this too is going to be the amount of equipment in the slot is
Yeah.
going to be really weird because there are 7 pieces of one ofs in the expansion
Mm-hmm.
slot, which we have
Yep.
not seen before.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
either they need to significantly reduce the expansion slot occurrence because otherwise you're either short printing the armor, which puts a ton of pressure on the expansion slot cards and basically makes them quarters because they're just going to be you'll
Mm-hmm.
open a full playset of unsheathed in 2 cases, like
Right. Yeah.
versus like having to go through 5-6 cases to open a playset. Um, and that will just absolutely obliterate the EV for any of these cards. So, want to preface to the conversation of the expansion slot around that. We could be wildly incorrect here, but just kind of that's gonna be the thing that I'm looking at. So,
Yep.
all the equipment slapping in an adorable tier. It's
Yeah.
none of it's game breaking or insane. It's just quality of life stuff that anyone who plays the class is just gonna want. I think the illusionist stuff is gonna be
Yeah.
worse.
So yeah, the next up, let's talk about it for a second.
Yeah.
Common cloak, flutter steps, and calming gesture. So it's arms, cloak, and some feet. They all have well, the chest and the arms have arcane barrier 1 on them. Again, a nice little tech piece as we are in an all arcane set. Just shoring up some of those slots for other classes to do battle with the wizards and rune blades.
Mhm.
And yeah, I don't know. I think maybe we could group them together as well on these, Nate. I think they're probably like adorable, maybe even dust tier. The feet are ward 1. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know if
sorry.
they
The feet are 100% dust tier. Those things are legitimately unplayable.
it's basically new moon tech
Yeah,
because she did not have ward feet. I think the art even nods to New Moon, Enigma New Moon from Mistveil,
yeah,
actually, now that I'm looking at it. So, very fun in UPF and maybe even in Blitz, but yeah, it's going to be a cheaper card, right?
yes. That it's because you can never control when this procs within reason. You can
Yeah.
control it in some ways, but like sometimes it's just like, oh, this breaks. I have no aura. I get 1 value on my feet. That's just in a game of Flesh and Blood. That's just not good enough.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of it. Now, Calming Cloak and what are the arms?
Calming Gesture.
Calming Gesture. Calming Gesture actually like quite good.
Yeah,
I
the
think
spectral shield.
I've I've even looked at like playing this unironically in unarcane matchups in Enigma.
Hmm.
Just the ability to make a spectral shield on command is
Yep.
actually really interesting. The cloak is I think the cloak might be unplayable too, to be honest.
Yeah. So this one, the cloak, just as we're talking about its playability, it says cost 1 instant, destroy this next aura you play. This turn costs 2 less to play.
Yeah.
So basically, we're looking at a -1 cost, right? Because you still have to pay the 1.
Yep.
Or, I mean, I guess there are some more expensive auras, if you ran this on Prism or something. But yeah, it's just tough, man. I think the chess slot's so competitive. It's just hard to see how you could fit this in, right?
It's also just not the spot you typically want to put your arcane into.
Yeah.
Specifically an illusionist, because you have the arms, you have the headpiece. In normal, you just don't care about the feet. So normally the chest is the equipment where you don't keep your arcane, you just keep the tunic. So it's just it's very schmedium.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we'll throw those in there. The next one up is in the last piece of armor out of the expansion slot, the adaptive dissolver. This is a mechanologist equipment. It is modular, so you can equip it and move it if you wanted to. And it has arcane barrier 1. So, I think since day 1 Teklo dropped, right, and we saw the whole set, everyone was like, hey, come on, man. Like, how do we beat wizards? And they've been kind of shoring up that weakness for him, slowly but surely. And this gives him another tool. I think it's interesting. Modular is kind of fun to see how that evolves. But yeah, I mean, really, you really just need one of these, right? Maybe a couple if you're really like scared of a certain wizard, right? If it's Kano or something, maybe you can throw in. You can swap out all your armor. It would start on board, right? So you do have that defense right away. Where in Mistveil, you had to find those Evos and then equip them before Kano roasted you in like a barbecue chicken. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, Nate. I don't see it going above your adorable tier, to be honest. Like,
no, it's where it falls. I think you're right. Like, you can play more of these, but the beauty of this equipment is that it's super flexible. You have
yeah,
one, but it's not like, oh, I need my arcane for my arm slot or my leg slot. There's going to be different matchups where you might actually shift it between the two. Like, actually, I want
yeah,
Achilles Accelerator in this matchup so I can break it.
yeah.
Or in this matchup, I want Goliath Gauntlet or Stonewall Gauntlet because it's going to give me more equity. So I'm going to move this to my feet because I don't need extra action points.
Yeah, that's a great point. And actually, I was thinking about bringing that up is that, maybe Teklo, you want to try to race a little bit, try to throw some big numbers at Kano. So then you throw these in your arm instead of your feet, right?
Yeah.
So you do have some flexibility there. Really cool card. I think all these cards are like fairly cool. It's just tough the way they're printed. It's very utilitarian and like, here's your stuff. And it's, just how it is. So, okay, so let's get into the cards. I guess the not playable cards, but more or less like actual cards. First one up here is Splatter Skull.
Yeah.
This brute, it is a brute attack. We've talked about it before. 6 power, gets rid of stuff that's been intimidated. Quite strong card again. It's very good. I think the problem with this card, and you're the brute guy, you tell me if I'm wrong here, but this is like almost a Reinar spec. It's like, to get the value out of it, you need to be intimidating. Kano doesn't do a ton of intimidating. So, I think it's a 3 of all day in Reinar, but
100% it is.
But KO, I don't know if he cares. Levia, I don't think she cares either, right? She definitely doesn't because she doesn't intimidate.
She does a
little bit.
Un poco. And KO does very little.
Yeah.
I do like that it isn't just a Reinar spec though, because it does.
Yeah, it opens it up, right?
Yeah, it does open it up to like. I mean, if it's just a Reinar spec, I think it's 100% in a you adorable tier. But because it's not. I think that like there's gonna be brute players who play Leviat and KO who are like, I'm just gonna pick up my 3 because like you never know what these crazy people are gonna
Yeah,
brew. Like I don't want to. I rather spend the like $5 on it now, and if it pops off in some championship deck, like things get
yeah,
like to 10 to 15. But again, this is like
yeah. That is a good reminder, right? We are still in the expansion slot here. If there's some new brute that comes out in like 6 months, in an armory deck, something like that, this card could just be light on inventory due to either just people pulling a lot of this armor, or we've seen it before with expansion slot cards, and this could just pop off, go to the moon, $25 a piece or whatnot.
yeah.
So I think this is definitely a card that I would throw into. Pick them up while you can right now. If it's like $5, grab them, grab your playset, put them in the binder, and feel good that you have your playset and you're kind of protected for the future.
Yep. 100%.
All right, next one up.
Card's very strong though.
Yeah, it is very strong.
Has banger
So
power level, but I don't think it's going to sit there in the market.
yeah, with the market tilt, it puts in a, okay, I see you.
Yeah.
Next one up is Drink 'em Under the Table. This is a Betsy spec, 8 power attack. We haven't talked about this one, but it's basically when you wager, the winner draws a card, the other hero discards a card, or and the other hero discards a card. I think this card's really, it's a 4 cost. I think this card's really strong. But it's just like Betsy needs more than one card at the moment. Now we know Guardian Mastery Pack is coming next March.
Yeah.
And I would not be surprised if there is a whole bunch of cards that are like, wagering, goal, all kinds of support for her in that set, to be honest. But like if we're talking right here, right now, the release of Rosetta, Nate, I think this is like, again, adorable tier. Still falls into that same category of pick them up now and kind of hold on, pick them up, in a week or two after release when shit's kind of cooled down a bit, for a couple bucks, and then just hang on to them,
Yes.
and then if you want to play Betsy, well, it is a Betsy spec. So if you want to play Betsy after the mastery packs come out, you'll be sitting happy.
100%. Yeah, the Betsy spec I think is always going to hold this card down. So like I don't expect it to be able to move up, but yeah, I think like a couple weeks after release, people are going to be like, this Betsy person unplayable still.
Yeah.
I don't think this is enough to like fix her problems, but knowing that she has this support coming in the future, 100%. This card could.
This card's definitely a powerful card in her deck of the future. That is,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. I mean, this is a very, very strong card.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, hero's not playable. Hero locked. No like.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's jump to the next one. So this is the Gust Wave of the Second Wind, Nate. Combo card. Combos.
That looks like it says underwhelming Gust Wave on it. Sorry.
It combos with Surging Strike, and then it gains Go again. It is a 4 attack, 0 power card. I don't know. I think this one's like dust here, man. It's unfortunate timing. Well, it's unfortunate timing for ninjas. Ninjas are in a bit of a funk right now.
So this card is not. Let's be very clear. This card is not good or bad.
Yeah.
This is just like.
It's a card.
It's a piece of cardboard. It's going to make Zen and Katsu decks.
Yeah.
100% it is. Like,
yeah.
If those decks are thinking about playing Flusterfist, they're playing this before
Flusterfist. Yeah, that's a great point, right? This is 0 for 4, right?
It's a 0 for 4 that blocks 3, that says combo. And you know who we're getting, Ted? And let's see. T minus 60 days.
Yep.
Ira. at first I was like very down on this card. I still don't think it's a very good card, and I think this is playing it safe. Understanding like where they were at in the design cycle.
Yeah.
I think they were probably a little bit worried about potentially giving
Zen another target.
Yes. Wow, but they wanted to help Katsu, and it's the heroes are too close together, I think, to help one without the other, without just basically slapping Katsu spec on it, which I don't think they want to do.
No.
Like, all right, let's just like slap a Katsu spec on it.
Yeah.
So I think it's an adorable. I think you'll see this card probably be a buck or two on release, and then as we get closer to Osaka, people are going to remember Ira as a deck, and I fully expect there to be a underwhelming Bonds of Ancestry or underwhelming Mugenchi release, like to follow this up, like in the next set as an expansion slot. So I expect them to use this to build out an additional combo line for Katsu.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see where they decide to take that. So I think it's definitely one to scoop up, but I think in the short term, it's definitely just like going to be adorable. Can we pick a good card, Ted? Because I'm tired.
This is we gotta. Yeah, this is. We gotta find some good ones, and they're coming, Nate. They're coming. Trust me. Next up is Unsheathed. This card we've talked about in our spoiler review. Here, Warrior, non-attack +3, and gives go again if it's greater than twice the base. This card is very much like Splatter Skull. It is very good in Warriors. It's a very strong card. Warriors are, I guess, in like an unknown spot right now. Mm-hmm. Like this BNR really did shake up some stuff, right? Because I'm like, oh yeah, the meta isn't quite as fast as I remember it, and I kind of have to recalibrate. So I could see Kasai, making a bit of a return. So yeah, I would say this is like an okay, I see you tier, right? It's definitely a 3 of in Kasai instantly. Yeah. What's your thoughts?
I think this card's a banger, and I don't think it's
really
close. So I'm going to caveat that with if the expansion slot sees another increase in pull rates, this card is definitely okay, I see you, or even adorable tier. All of these expansion slots just shift down, because if it's so, I think it was like to get a playset in Bright Lights, it was like 27 boxes of an expansion slot card.
Yeah,
and then it was like 24, I think, in Heavy Hitters, and then like 21 in Mistveil.
Yeah.
If it goes down even more, very concerned. But I think this card, if it's at even heavy levels where it takes 6 cases to get a playset, this card's easily $15. Bolton wants this card. Kasai wants this card. Dory loves this card. Olympia loves this card. All of the Warriors want it, and its milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Like,
I guess, maybe I was underestimating how many Warriors actually want to play this, but you're the Warrior boy, so I'll listen to you on this one. But yeah, I agree with you. If you're saying that like most of the Warriors want to play this, then yeah, it's definitely moving up this list in a hurry. Maybe not banger tier, but definitely slaps at minimum. We'll leave it in banger just for you, bud.
Can't wait to be wrong on that one.
Next one up is Plan for the Worst.
Yeah.
Hey, we made it to the Riptide support slot of every set.
our semi-annual
this isn't even
Riptide support slot card.
Dun, 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 dun. Riptide gets a card every set, guys.
Yep.
It's shuffle, do the thing, find some traps. Again, I think it's a 3 block. It's a blue. I think Riptide, it's very powerful in Riptide. So I think he needs it. kind of like Splatter Skull, where only Rhinar wants it. Azalea isn't playing this, obviously, so I don't know. I think this one's right where it needs to be at OKICU.
I only agree with this because there are adorable applications for this in the other Ranger heroes. Like in LL, most of the Rangers are playing Tar Pit Trap because Starvo is a deck.
Oh, okay.
So like just tutoring up your Tar Pit Trap to not get exploded, very good.
Yeah.
So and the Lexi can end her turn on an action point very easily. So like going go again arrow, plan for the worst. And they're like, oh, I was actually gonna set up. Oh, you got a trap in your arsenal too. That's very good against me. Oops. So I think it'll see a little bit more play than just Riptide, but I never spend more than $5 on this card.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. Next up is the dust of the set. This dust is for, let me check.
Unplayable hero.
Uvia. Guess where it goes? It goes in the dust tier. Obviously. I don't think we need to really talk about this one too much. Dromai is not a top tier hero in LL at the moment. Draconic Illusionist is coming back. We know that for a fact. So just hang tight on this one, guys. Don't overspend on these though. We've seen the dust in the last couple sets. You can, make your judgment there.
Have we gotten all of the dust now? Are we actually done with dust?
No, I don't believe so. I think there's a couple more. We probably don't get dust for the legendary dragons because that would just be insane. But I think there's a couple more left, right? Vince, maybe you're right. I don't know. Yeah. Let's move on though.
All right.
We don't want to get. We don't. Nate, we have a long history of you and talking about Dromai on this channel, and let's not open up old wounds, okay?
Unplayable.
Next one up is a Meld card. This is kind of fun. This is a fun little ad that they added to the expansion slot. So this is Regrowth Shock. It is an Earth Runeblade lightning instant. So that means it is locked to Briar in LL. And there was kind of a nice little nod to Briar in this whole set, right? We got our Marvel, we got Marvel Thorn. Very cool stuff, and this was part of it. I think the card is very good. I think Briar definitely wants to play it in LL. I don't know how, I just don't know how LL is going to, I think LL is going to take off, to be honest. I think Calling Chicago is going to be quite successful, from what I'm hearing from pro players and stuff. And I think we're only ramping up more and more towards LL being a major contender. Maybe they're thinking next year it could be at Worlds or something, who knows? We'll see how it goes. I don't know anything. I'm just speculating. But yeah, this is adorable at best. I don't know if I would call it dust here.
I'm going to call it dust here.
Yeah, I mean, it still does line up kind of just with Dromai, right? There's just better heroes to play in LL. Yeah, you're right.
Better heroes in LL. It's LL locks to a hero that outside of Nathan Crawford, I don't know anyone who is a Briar stan. There's definitely let's be there were some, but there weren't people who blinged out their Briar deck because they were so in love with Briar. There's gonna be some of them here and there, but usually Briar people were Runeblade apologists who were yeah, Briar's a Runeblade for sure, and that's kind of where they're just okay, I just want to play.
That is such a hot take, bro. You're gonna come on. Dude, if you were just we just got past the Dromai hate. Now you're just hey, Briar people, come yell at us.
Yeah, listen, if you are a Briar main, like you identify as a Briar main, leave a comment. I already know one who literally comments on every single video. Shout out to Nick. So he's gonna comment twice on this one. But like I just don't think there's a lot out there, to be completely honest.
It's not I agree with you, but also I think there's more than you probably think. So yeah, I don't know. Moving on, Nate. I agree with you. It's probably dust tier just because it's locked to one hero, and that hero is not in even A tier in LL, right? She's probably B tier at best. Mm-hmm. You know, just like the amount of power she can do. It's like she can do powerful things, but just not like Starvo, Chain, Lexi, etc. All right, we've made it to the main set. We got a couple Meld cards to go through here. First one is Thistlebloom in Life. This is the Runeblade Earth Meld card. Very cool card. Create X rune chance equal to the amount you've healed this turn. Heal 1 on the other side. 0 does not have go again, so it's kind of tough to play around. This one is like, yeah, I'm just going to say it, Nate. I think this one's like adorable at best because it's like an OTK piece that in my mind seems pretty tough. Like there's other pieces I think you would pick to try to build your rune chant base quicker than this guy because you have to line up. You have to like do some like strong pitch stacking for this for this to pop off the way you want it to. I think.
Do I trigger the rune blades more? Pitch stacking ain't their strong suit.
Bro, hold on a second. Chain is like Chain taught so many people pitch stacking. It taught me pitch stacking. Get out of here.
Y'all haven't pitch stacked since Chain left.
Oh yeah, dude, my brain is mush, dude. I don't,
dude. Yeah,
like I used to, but I don't anymore.
Dude, you're like that guy who played JV basketball and now is like 45.
Hey man, I can throw this football over the mountains.
Yeah, I used to be able to touch rim, and it's like, dude, go do it now. And it's like, you can't. Don't at me. All right.
I am definitely the uncle from Napoleon Dynamite, right? I'm telling you, I can throw a football over those mountains. I used to pitch stack, dude. It was a thing.
I used to pitch stack. I'd love to see you pitch stack today, Teddy. I think all of the Meld Majestics belong in the adorable tier. We've seen it time and time again. Hero locked M's just don't perform. Not that these cards are not good, because these cards are very good. Like Rampant Growth in Life is literally part of Verdant's OTK combo. It's like the most important card. But when only one hero wants a card, the demand just isn't there. And Null and Shock actually should probably go in Dust tier because that card's just terrible. And then I forget what the other one is. What was the
Vaporize and Shock?
Also terrible.
Runeblade Instant Destroy. Yeah, it's just
also terrible. Too conditional. Both of them are like way too conditional, and you give your opponent like way too much agency. So the Earth ones can go up top, and the Lightning ones can go down a tier. Which, spoiler alert, is going to be a common theme.
All right, jumping to the next one. It is Arc Lightning. It is Aurora Specialization. Oh no, Specialization. It says whenever you go again this turn, deal 1 arcane. The next action card you play this turn gets go again. Go again.
This card's broken.
Yeah, it's quite strong.
It's insane. This card is very, very strong. Gives Aurora a lot of very powerful play lines and generates action points and does pings of arcane damage. It's fantastic. It's unfortunately hero locked to Aurora, which means it's going to be, unless she is like literally the pinnacle of the meta, it's capped out at okay, I see you. If she is like S tier best deck in meta, but realistically, it's you adorable.
Couple bucks, and then if she is like if she's the deck, maybe it jumps up to okay, I see you. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I agree there. Next one up is Germinate. So this is a Florian spec. It's create a rune chant and then double. It's like do that X more times plus one. Very strong card. I think this is like 3 of in Florian auto.
Yep.
But man, it is exactly the same as Arc Lightning. It's like only Florian can run it, so it's hero lock just to Florian. And I don't know if Florian's going to be best. Like, I think Florian's going to be very fun and playable. I don't know if he's going to be best deck though.
Yeah, I would say like this one kind of floats between both.
Yeah.
The Earth heroes are just more popular.
Yeah.
Like all the hype right now is around Earth decks. People love them some Earth. Just some big beefy wood. And it's just like that's what people want to be doing. You see like the most activity like even like in our Discord is around
Earth.
Verdance and Florian.
Yep.
Like
yeah, for
Acilio
sure.
and Aurora. No one like Aurora is just kind of like I don't think it's caught anyone's attention because it's just like this like it's just an aggro deck. It doesn't look like it has cool things to figure out, so people aren't dedicating the time to it yet.
Yeah.
And they might come back around to it later, like after pre-release and stuff, and they like play it a couple times. But these Earth heroes just have so much depth in how you can build them that it really brings out like the tinkerer in a lot of people. So,
yep. Yeah. Shout out to Carol. You chose wrong, dude. Earth, Team Earth.
Nah, he's fine. He's an Acilio, dude.
Oh, yeah. I gotta figure that guy out. Okay.
He's fun.
Next one up is current funnel.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a lightning action blue block 3. Yeah, this card I'm gonna need your help on a number of these since you've already jammed a number of games with maybe most of these.
Yes, current funnel. If the last action card you played this turn was lightning, this turn, the next action card you play this turn gets go again.
Those are words.
Oh, sorry, this and the next action card. So basically, if you play a lightning card in front of this, has to be an action too. This card gains go again, and the next action card you played gains go again. So it's kind of like Arc Lightning, where it's like you give the next thing go again. It comes in for 2, and it gets go again itself. It's a blue block 3 lightning card.
Yeah.
They don't exist. I'm trying to deck build. I wanted to call him Zareth again, Acilio, and blue block 3 lightning cards just don't exist.
Yeah.
This card will be okay. I see you. It is not good. I don't think this card is like, oh my gosh, it's broken. It's such a good blue. It's a block 3 blue lightning card
with some like utility if you need it, right?
All the fab boomers out there will remember like Fine Center being a $10-15 Majestic, like always just like one of the most valuable Majestics in crew because it was a blue block 3 0 cost card. It just checked a ton of boxes. No one was playing the Fine Center line. But it was just sexy enough to everyone wanted it who played Lightning, and I think that everyone who is a Lightning hero will want the card. So it's okay. I see you for now.
That like $5 to $8 range. Next one up is Eclectic Magnetism. When this attacks, you may play a non-attack action card. This chain link, though it was an instant, it's a 1 cost 5 attack.
This card belongs in its own tier. This card is beer goggles. It's like you look at this card and it's got everything. It costs 1. It blocks 3. It attacks for 5. It essentially has go again because your non-attack action can follow it up and regain your action point. It's just then you take the beer goggles off And you're like, okay, so now I need non-attack actions. I needed something else to do with my other 2 resources.
Yeah.
It's trying to, the text box is also like, that's hot.
Mm-hmm.
And you put it all together and you realize, like, you put it together with other cards and you realize, like, how not super functional the card is.
Yeah.
It's just awkward. It'll take someone with a bigger brain to figure it out. So I think this is more like you're adorable, but I think people will think this is a banger. So that's where the real juicing comes in. Eat them quick, boys and girls. Club of America.
Yeah, so that means, it's possible this card could be higher than it actually is and then fall off. So if you get some, trade them out, possibly trade them out for something else, especially if you're not a lightning boy. Next one up is Gone in a Flash. This is a 0-for-4 attack, lightning attack, blocks for 3. When this attacks, the next time you play an instant card, this chain link, you may return this to its owner's hand. You were talking about this one, and you were talking quite highly.
I love this card. All right, so while Eclectic Magnetism is like beer goggles, like you take them off, you realize, like, this card, you take off the beer goggles, and then you're like, oh, damn, this is still good. Like, just it being 0 is just like so much better when you like look at it in the context of like so many different hands. Its ability to bounce itself makes the combo potential so high. Its baseline 4 is some of the best stats in Flesh and Blood. Mm-hmm. 0, 4, 3 block. Love it. Yeah. Briar's gonna love it. Aurora loves this card. Acilio, it literally is the Acilio deck. Yeah. It's Gone in a Flash. Like, card is very, very strong. And I think it'll probably be like in slaps tier, because I think everyone is going to try to just break this card because it is just like the biggest Timmy, like, let me do the broken thing.
Yeah, it's card advantage, right? A little bit on kind of a roundabout way, but just getting that back, bouncing that back and forth. Very good.
With this and Lightning Greaves, it basically turns every instant into your hand into +4 damage.
That's pretty good.
So,
yep. Yeah, keep an eye on that one. So that one definitely in slaps tier. Next one up is the Heartbeat of Candlehold. This is a Verdant spec. So, I mean, I think this is a 3 in every Verdant deck, because the gain one is amazing, but it is hero locked. So, we're looking at basically adorable. Maybe if Verdance becomes like the de facto deck, it could pop up into I see you just like the other hero specs, but really not much to say there, I don't think, right?
Germinate and Pulse are both teetering right on that I see you in your adorable tier, because of their popularity. A lot of the talk right now is around Verdance and Florian. And these cards are just bangers, absolute bangers, and the art is like nuts on this.
Yeah, it's very good.
We're seeing the promos get slung around like drinks at a college party. Like, that tells you kind of like everything you need to know about like the demand and popularity for the hero is when the promo cards are selling like on these release weekends consistently. There's a lot of hype for the hero. So I could even see this like being I see you right now. But I think View Adorable is like a good spot to sit in.
Yep. Next one up is a Sigil of Brilliance. Nate. This is
it's an Acilio spec. Yeah, it goes in my heart. It's a banger. I just want to be very clear with everyone out there. My heart, this card's a banger. In reality, it sits in You Adorable tier, and it will always be in You Adorable tier. Acilio is too hard of a hero. In all reality, but man, is he fun. So it'll just sit there.
Yeah, hero locked. Earth's Embrace. This is a 1-cost Earth action. With Go Again, it just says if you've banished an Earth card, you can create an embodiment each turn. If you haven't, destroy this. This card is, I don't know. It's just bad, I think. I don't know how you could banish an Earth card every turn, to be honest. Seems tough.
It's pretty hard. Also, the fact that it costs 1 makes it like
awkward
as well.
There's just not.
I think it's you adorable.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have been like playing around with it and experimenting with it, but it's just like I don't see it being a main line in the Earth decks.
Yeah. For sure. Next one up is Plow Under. So this is a Decompose card. It gets +4 if Decomposes turn on, so 4 or more. It is a 2 attack, cost 2. It is a yellow, blocks for 3, so can come in for 6. So 2 for 6, and then also its Decomposed text says you put. Is this the Arsenal one?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is.
I think it's been dubbed Command and Compost.
yeah, that's good actually.
So this card it's a banger, right? Like,
yeah,
every Earth hero is going to want to run this, and it is like kind of non-negotiable. Like,
yeah,
even it's not. This one is not as good as Felling of the Crown, and it's not if you're not to that decomposed state yet.
yeah.
But as soon as you get to the decomposed state yet, it is insane.
Yep.
It's so far above rate. It is Command and Conquer, but better.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yes.
So I agree with you. Verdance and Florian are just like auto 3 of because you need that Decompose in your deck. So easy choice.
Yep.
Next one up is just what you had mentioned, Felling of the Crown. I think this one's also very easy. This one is absolutely insane. It's coming in for 8 when you are online, and each hero puts a card from their hand, so it's like almost pseudo, discard, but not, right? It just goes to the bottom of your deck. It's gross. This card is auto in both heroes as well, I believe, both Earth heroes. I don't see why you wouldn't run this.
No, it's an auto 3 of any Earth deck in perpetuity, right? Like,
right.
Both of these cards are very, very strong. Fell of the Crown, like, even when you throw a 2-card 4, but you force a card out of their hand, that is still a 2-card 7.
Right. Yeah.
It becomes a 2-card 11 on the second one you throw. It's insane.
Very,
it's so good.
Strong.
Yes.
Next one up is Seeds of Tomorrow, Nate. This is a blue instant, Earth instant. Additional cost to play this, put a card from your arsenal at the bottom of your deck, prevent the next 5 damage to be dealt to you. Yeah. I don't know what to make of this one.
This card is going to be like quite good at basically preventing big arcane combos. Because you're basically utilizing your arsenal in this card to prevent on top of potential arcane barrier. So like really trying to stuff out like these big verdance combos where it's like you take the entire game and then you go Plume of the Evergrowth, rampant growth, pop all your energy or your healing potions, and then you go, all right, here's my amp staff for like 20, and you're like, AB3 this, I'll take 8, or I'll block 8 of it. And they're like, oh no, I was going to kill you, but I wasn't expecting you to block essentially like 20 damage of my combo.
Yeah, but this is like just a sideboard card, right? In CC.
Yeah, it's a sideboard card, but it's a blue card that's not embarrassing.
That's a good way of putting it, I suppose. Then I hear it's adorable.
It's definitely adorable.
Yeah. It's hard to put things in the dust tier, to be honest, because I mean, a lot of these are just very solid cards, to be fair.
Yeah, very strong cards.
Next one up is Channel the Millennium Tree. This is the amp on Inter Arena, and then channel tick up amp 3 each turn. This is interesting. I don't know if it's going to take a certain build for both Florian and I don't know if Florian can play this, but maybe Verdance can, right? Just to get that every turn amp, maybe. Yeah, I don't see. I don't know, Nate. What's your thoughts on this one?
There's all these adorable people, humans that are talking about these Channel the Millennium Tree super rune chant decks where it's you channel the Millennium Tree, zap them with the Specter of Pain for 4, create, because most people aren't going to put AB3 in against a Runeblade, right?
Yeah.
And that's that's part of your super stack plan. I'm just not a believer. I think people forget that this hero called Enigmi is a deck, and that you don't get to just play these super dirtily style decks. You have to be proactive, and this deck just isn't there in terms of value for proactivity either. So someone could easily prove me wrong. I'm just not a believer.
Yeah, and then also I would like to point out too is I kind of fell into this trap as well, Nate, where I'm like, oh man, they just banned all these books. Things have gotten a lot slower, a lot less offensive overlaps, which they are. But there's even on the like you said, there's punishments for going too slow in the form of Enigma. There's also really fast decks still. Dash.io still exists, folks. And she's getting new tools. So I'm not saying that it's going to be as fast as it was, because I don't think you can get much faster than Zen or stay at that speed.
Yeah.
But Dash will cook. And if you think you got time, you might not. So we'll have to see how that shakes out. But yeah, I think this is a fun card that maybe in the future could pop off with a certain type of build or archetype in a certain meta even.
Yep.
Next one up is Channel Lightning Valley.
This instant draw a card. Where have we seen stuff like that before where it became an issue and got banned?
Yeah, just.
Was it Creeping in Plunder Run?
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. This card's pretty good. It doesn't block, which obviously downside.
Yep.
But putting things in at instant speed with on hits is quite good. And we will talk about this again later. I'm going to say it slaps because it is an auto and at least Aurora and Acilio. Card is very good.
Yep.
Because usually it at least cantrips itself. So what's funny is the card that it sits next to has a ton of anti-synergy with.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, I can draw my card and bounce my gun in the flash. You can't. That doesn't like fun.
Yeah.
They do like fun. That's why they made it. But they understand the bounds of
yeah, you can't have too much fun.
They understand what is too much fun. And they made it so Gone in a Flash does not have a positive interaction with Channel Lightning Valley. So
that makes
unlucky,
sense.
but card is very good. It slaps.
Yep. Next one up is High Voltage. This is a blue 0 lightning instant that says amp 1.
I want to be very clear. I don't want to put this in dust tier. But I'm going to put it in dust tier. It's just, it might not even get played in the Acilio decks. And that's what the thing's freaking designed for.
Yeah.
It's just not good enough. And it makes me sad. End of story.
Yeah. Nate, we've made it to my favorite part of the stream. It's been a while, but we're finally
I'll be back
here.
Later. You can talk about this one. We're foaming at the mouth by the end of this.
Oh my god. So first one up is Snuff Out. 1 cost, 5 attack, 3 block, Runeblade action. Oh baby. This one says when that hits a hero, you may destroy an aura you control. If you do, they discard a card. Yeah. um, I think Viz probably doesn't mind this, right? If you like have the one rune chant coming in on the back end, and you can just like, if they let it hit, you're just like, yo, discard a card. Um, I think this is quite strong, and but I don't see when like Vincent would have like uh a rune chant floating. Maybe I'm wrong. Um, but I could see this being played in Florian because he will be playing like Sigil of Deadwood and um, Arcane Cussing and things like that. I guess
Uh,
Finn's going to be playing Arcane Cussing as well. So,
well, there's the what is it, Maleficent incantation, where when you
yeah.
attack with a card, you create a rune chant on the back. That
Oh,
is
yeah.
going to be for sure a Vincent spec.
Mm-hmm.
It Vincent is definitely the one who cannot use this the easiest. It's very
Right.
hard for her to use
Yeah.
it. But even Aurora will like you can play like sigils of conductivity and things like that, and you can flash those in an instant speed too, where it's like, oh, there's no auras, it's fine, and you're
Oh,
just like,
that's
oh,
busted.
flash it in. Oh, it leaves the arena. I'll create a lightning token. You discard a card, and I'll just end turn.
It's
You're
really
like, you have a lightning token. I discard it. What the happened?
good. Yeah.
But like, it's not terrible in Aurora, but in Viscerai, this card is
So good.
the beef.
Yeah. This
That it
one,
goes in banger tier because also Chain can play this in LL and destroy a Soul Shackle.
oh, that's kind of sick. I would destroy Soul Sackle for a discard all day, depending on the matchup. But yes,
Yep. So, like,
that would
card
be good.
very very strong, will always be very very strong.
Yeah. Banger art as well.
Yeah.
Next one up is Machinations of Domination. The next Runeblade attack action card you play this turn gets overpower, and it says if you've played or created an aura this turn, it gets go again as well. And this has go again. It's a blue block 3. Oh my god. I think I love this card. I think this goes like, this just says like whatever block 3 blue you had just like bumming around in your Runeblade deck, you just replace it now with this. Like, I don't see
Remember
why you win it.
remember when Briar played all these like Runeblade blue block 3, like all the block 3s you
Yeah.
she was playing like garbage cards like Sift and
Yeah. Yeah.
like, and then Viscerai was playing Maverian Skies, and it's just like,
Dude, like I could see
bro.
this like replacing Dread Triptych even if depending on your ratios, right? Like it's
Dude, Runeblade is basically at this point almost coming down to, all right, you here are the 45 majestics that you put into your deck because they're all stupid and broken, and then you play 15 of your own specs in
we're,
like in talent cards.
we're back, baby.
That like, dude, these cards are nuts the butts, dude. It's insane.
Can the viewers tell how much I'm smiling right now? These cards are so good.
Dude, I don't think you can stand up right now. Like,
Oh my god, dude,
oh,
it's so good. It's another banger. It honestly is another banger. It's played in like all of them. Like I could see it being played in Vincent.
yes.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
good. It's yeah.
Yeah.
Next one up. Oh my god, they just get better too. So Succumb to Temptation. This one is you can play this as an instant if you dealt arcane damage. The next time Runeblade attack action you control hits this turn, you get to look at someone's hand and discard a card, and it has go again. So this is like action cheating or action point cheating, and you get to look and discard. You're like, oh, you got one blue there, huh? All right, we'll take that. You don't get a turn.
Dude,
Oh my
it's
god. It's like
that card
straight
is
to banger, dude.
dude, that card is like solely responsible from like taking some of my Acilio turns from like 30 damage to like 2. Like, it's so good and
Yep.
so frustrating to play against. And Brian might have felt that way during our interview. Why Runeblade all discardy? Maybe it was because my Acilio deck is full of no blocks, And every time they attacked me, it was multiple discard on hits. And I'm just like, I don't even get to play the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, Brian.
Yeah.
You're a homie, though.
He kind of brought that up. He's like, you have a lot of no blocks in there, though, right? You're like, well, yeah. All right. The last Runeblade card here is Haunting Rendition. This is a Runeblade block card. So it blocks for 4. It does have a text box that says instant discard this, prevent the next 2 damage, and create a Rune Chant token. Or the first time you prevent damage this way, create a Rune Chant token. So this card's really cool. You can pick to go, get 3 value by creating the Rune Chant and preventing 2, or you can block for 4. Love the flexibility of it. It is a red, so it's like, yeah, I mean, it would have been super greedy for this to be any other color.
Yeah,
but
it would have, Ted. You got enough, bud.
I think, you know what? I mean, I think this card is very good. I think Vincent wants to play this, probably Florian, depending on like how slow you're going. Viserai probably not, because you're just like, it'll slow you down. But yeah, I think this card's super good. I think it probably goes into slaps just because it's a little bit more limited. I think it's a little bit more limited. I could be wrong.
It's the best D-React Runeblade can play.
Yeah.
So it like sometimes, like especially against these, like when Guardian is relevant, when big dominate is relevant, like this card being able to, in a lot of these Runeblade decks, net you a resource and potentially like block with essentially 2 cards. Like it's not technically blocking, but it's like getting you value of blocking when Azalea goes like dominate 11 red in the ledger. Love, what you gonna do? And you're like, okay, well, I just have a card I'm gonna lose because I'm also under Seek. But now you can be like, okay, I can discard this, at least create a Rune Chant, block 2 more, and get 3 value out of my card instead of 0. I think that kind of flexibility is very nice. And I think this card is gonna be just like always something that Runeblades are kind of coming back to and realizing like, yeah, I probably should play like 1 or 2 of these for some matchups.
Yeah. Also, it getting you, if you're going slow in Florian and you have reduced the Rune Chant, right? So it costs 1 less to make that Rune Chant. You can instant this out and then block with that. So it's like effectively blocking 6, but you create the Rune Chant. There's some utility there for sure. I think this one goes in slaps though, just because it's not like an auto include in all Runeblades, like the 3 that we just talked about.
Yeah. Sigil of Aether's the next one. It's just adorable.
Yeah.
It's gonna take someone with a bigger wizard brain than mine to figure that one out. I think it's kind of cute though that it like pops at the start of the turn and then like you get to be like, hey, does this matter? I don't know. You don't know. And then Acilio can just be like, pop, 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 pop. Or like Verdance can just be like, here's my Findell's Fighting Spirit. Or like Fell of the Crown. It's like, you already gave me 1 card to prevent 1 arcane because you thought I might do arcane damage. I just don't know I just don't think it's good enough though.
If it's just not going to matter. Makes sense. Next one up is Internal Inferno. Deal 4 damage, cost 1. Surge. If this does 4 or more damage, banish it. You may play it this turn.
Yes. Good card. It reads really well, but I don't think in practice it requires you to have multiple action points, so it's a little more difficult to use in that respect.
Yeah.
So I just don't think it's going to be that great. I think it's just adorable.
Boop. Okay, next one up is Destructive Aethertide. It is a blue black 3, deal 1 arcane. If it deals more than 1 arcane for the surge, you blow up an arsenal card. So it's Command and Conquer for wizards.
Command and Conquer. All right, so I think I've talked about how New was like an unplayable deck. on here before. Like maybe it was more frustration of like not ever being able to play my own hands. But then realizing that like she's done approximately 3 damage, she's just taken 12 cards out of your hand. That's this card. You realize that it is a blue that attacks for 1.
Yeah.
It's not what you want to be doing.
Yeah.
But it is a blue block 3 non-attack action, which isn't the worst thing in the world. So it's probably okay, I see you. It's auto. I think it's probably an auto and Kano because it's just better sap, zap, flap, whatever the heck the other ones are.
Yeah.
Florian probably runs some of this, but I was playing it in Acilio and it was just like.
You mean Verdance?
Verdance, yeah, not Florian. Yeah, Verdance. It was just like it just wasn't good enough.
Yep.
So
next one up is the mental block. So this one is a wizard block that says discard this, prevent the next 2 damage. First time you prevent damage, create a ponder token.
Meh.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of the wizards don't want to put half the cards that they would draw into their arsenal.
Right.
And then when you have this card and you draw another one, it's like off the ponder, it's like, oh shit.
You're like, wait a second.
Why am I playing 2 of these? Yeah. I think the card design's cute. I just don't think the card's ever gonna see constructed level play.
Right.
It's just not high enough value, so probably it just goes in a dust tier.
Yeah. All right, Nate. We've made it to the generics. First one up is Cut Through the Facade. 3 cost, 7 attack. Can't be defended by auras. This one is very. This is a weird card. I
feel targeted.
Yeah, this is definitely a sideboard card for Enigma, I think, and also maybe Prism too.
Yeah, it's 2 block definitely hurts it.
Yeah,
I don't know of any deck right now that's like gung ho to run this card.
Yeah, starving for like a popper to do just this. Yeah.
Yes, there's not a whole lot of decks where it's like, man, if I just had like some poppers that had text boxes that would be relevant in these matchups, I could really shore up some illusionist matchups.
Yeah.
Not to say that that won't happen in the future.
Yeah.
I think that LSS really likes how Enigma plays versus how Prism plays. So I can see them going to more ward-based decks again. But it's going to take the right meta for this card. So it's probably a You Adorable card that now very easily, if that meta comes around, moves up to like slaps and banger tier.
Oh yeah, we've seen poppers move quite quickly.
Down and dirty. Think you like so I think this one could start off low, and that is going to be where you want to grab it because I mean, I think Down and Dirty is still probably $10 to $15.
Yeah, I think it's around 10. I haven't looked at that card in a minute, but yeah, you're probably right. It's at least, yeah, it's got to be floating around 10 still.
And I don't remember that last time that was registered in a constructed level deck outside of the one Michael Fung.
Right.
Who registered it at Nats.
Yep.
he's a mad lad.
He is a mad lad.
Yep.
All right, next one up is 10 foot tall and bulletproof. This is a fun card. Attacks for 10, blocks for 10, but it gives you an IP2 penalty.
Banger.
Yeah, this card, I think this card sees play. This is like a closeout mechanic if I've ever seen one.
It's like last ditch effort, but funnier.
Yeah.
What else do you want, people? It's an hour and 12 minutes, all right? Like,
yeah,
we got places to be.
Right. Yeah. I'm feeling it, to be honest. Next one up is Truce. I think this card is, oh man, we were talking a little bit about this one And you kind of convinced me. I think this one is minimum slaps. I don't know if I would put it in the banger tier right now, but I think this card could be a real neat piece of tech.
Agreed. It's this is a card that I highly expect to be in You Adorable for until Osaka. And then I think you will see this card in I think you will see Truce in a top 8 deck at Osaka. And
Yeah.
then Truce will pop off like This Round's on Me. If any of you boomers out there remember This Round's on Me,
yeah,
during Everfest drop, everyone was like, man, this card is terrible. What is this card even used for? Who would even play this? And then all of a sudden they released a hero named Fi.
Yep. Yep.
And this card went whoop. Pick them up when they're low, boys and girls.
Yep. And get your play set for sure.
Yep.
And the last card of the video, Nate, Call to the Grave. This one has caused some controversy already online. Some people think it's quite amazing. Some people think it's not very good at all. I think Levia and Brutes maybe use it, but this might just be a future. This card might get really good in the future.
Yes, and I think like in our interview with Brian, he even called out this card specifically.
Yeah, he did.
That is like all I need to know.
Yeah,
about this card. Like it might not be good now. It might be very schmedium right now. This card is a generic that will get it will get better as the game grows and design grows.
Yep.
So make sure you pick up your copies, trade for these at every opportunity. Like if you're trading extras for extras, get these. There's a reason it has the EA treatment. Like,
yeah, that's also a good point.
Don't sleep on this. This is going to be probably when we look back in 2 years and we look at like we said, like the twin drives, the blade flurries, the warmongers, the codexes, like the weakest links. Yep. Call of the Grave is going to be Rosetta's weakest link. Like
it definitely could be. Yeah, for sure.
It might not be for 2 years. So if you're going to come in at me in this video, I want to see it in 2026. Don't come at me before then.
Yeah.
Anything before that is premature.
All right, that's it though, Nate. That's that is all the Majestics. We made it an hour and 15 minutes. Just about the same as last time, and I thought we were going at a good clip, but I guess for next set we'll have to try to beat our personal best. I think that's it, dude. It's called peace.
You know what they say? Put your money where your mouth is. Boom, boom, boom.